was really, really nearsighted. I mean, she couldn't see squat without her glasses, thick, Coke bottles, the traditional Coke bottle glasses. And we can implant lenses, that reduce people's needs for glasses. And she actually literally sat up after cataract surgery, saw the clock, and she started crying. It's one of those things where, sometimes you just don't realize how much of a difference you make for people.
It's probably 15 years ago. Came in and he just had some swelling in his eyelid that a number of doctors had taken a look at. He came back 2 years later and just walked into the office, and someone showed him back, and he said, "Do you remember me?" He says, "You saved my life."
Yeah.
Said, if you hadn't found this and I just continued to put it off, then I would be dead now.
I think in addition to our great physicians and staff, that I really love how we all work to support the community. We've been involved in so many different events. We've partnered with the Figgy, we've worked with the River Food Bank.
John, I think that even though you and I are not from the Quad Cities, we've made it our home for the last 20 years. And part of why I have come here and stayed here is because it's such a great community to live in. There's so many opportunities to help out the community. The community a lot of them come to see us, and I feel as though part of our obligation is to give back to the community.
United Way was a big thing for us early on. Festival of Trees was. We've become more focused. We even involved our staff, which I like. We poll the staff to see what organizations they're interested in.
Gilda's Club. We do Boo at the Zoo almost every year with the kids. Really fun to be involved in the community and to give back.
Being from Rock Island, I never would have thought I'd end up back in the Quad Cities, but when I was finishing my training, now almost 15 years ago, the job opportunity was there and it seemed like a great fit. My wife and I couldn't be happier now, 15 years later, back in the Quad Cities, working in a great place and raising our 4 kids.
I think one of the things that attracted us both to come back here is raising a family here. It's just a great place to have your children. The schools are some of the best schools in the state, actually, or in this community.
A couple of big cities are pretty close. If you're living in the suburbs, you're not really going to go downtown very often during the week. We can get to Chicago almost as easily as a lot of other people can.
Patients that you're around, I've got patients that have been here since I've been here, and to see people over the many years and take care of them is an honor. That's really, really pretty important.
One of the things I really enjoy about my practice is seeing multi-generational families, to see the grandparents, the kids, then their kids. It's great to get to know them and their families. It makes me feel a little old sometimes as they're growing older, but
families can bring their whole family in. They can bring their children, they can bring their parents in, they can bring themselves in, and there's somebody who can see every one of those generations of people for whatever eye issues they have.
I think the growth potential in a well-managed practice is high, and I think one of the things that stood out to me was the way this practice was managed, and that really enables me, or enables us as physicians, to really focus on taking care of the patients and getting through our day, as opposed to dealing with some of the other requirements and paperwork and other things that we keep getting more of.
I wanted to have a really great high volume practice, but also not have a crazy commute or have the stress of working 6 days a week, and 4.5 day work week is pretty nice.
It's kind of a family atmosphere. I think a lot of jobs, it's the people who are around you that are as important as anything else. And, around people, and you get to know them. And, I think a lot of jobs, it's the people who are around you that are as important as anything else.
I think the fact that we had that celebration in 2007 with the 1 millionth patient, that just goes to show also what our great staff has been over the years to allow us to see that many patients, to serve them, and their dedication and hard work allows us to see that many patients. It's been a privilege to be a part of that.
I remember when I was interviewing, that's one of the things that drew me to the practice was the fact that you can walk down the hall and ask people questions, and you had specialists in just about everything, and it made it attractive to someone coming out who doesn't have a terrible amount of experience, just to know that you've got that backup, and the patients can get taken care of by someone who sees a ton of that.
We decided to add hearing services because a lot of people that can't see also can't hear, so it's the perfect patient population.
I don't have to wait for a consultation somewhere else. I've got someone that I'm a little uncomfortable with some aspect of their exam or of their care, I don't have to send them down the street for another opinion.
Right.
It's just a huge advantage.
I think what stands out most for us is the fact that we have all the subspecialties of ophthalmology. So we are the only ophthalmology, full service ophthalmology and optometry practice that has lust to dust eye care, where we see children as you do, we do contacts, we do glasses, and then we do cataracts, we do glaucoma, we do macular degeneration, we do the whole gamut of eye care. And there's no other practice in this area that does that. And in fact, I would say that we're one of the only about 3 practices in all of Iowa that do that.